Hi, every time I find a TV in the dumpster room like I did with this one, here I'll link in the video if you haven't seen it, I always get comments every single time without fail. A ton of people say, Dave, rip out the LCD and use the backlight LEDs in it to make a fantastic LED panel, or LED panel, called LEDs here in Australia, thank you very much. A magnificent LED panel, just like I've got up on the wall up here, right? And apparently they're the duck's guts, and everyone reckons they're fantastic, and you know, convert it, Dave, hang it on your wall, it'll be fantastic. It's got 50 watts of output or something like that. And whilst that's true, you can do that, and that's what we're going to do in this video, but you basically have no idea what the LEDs in here are like. What is their color temperature? What is their color rendering index? Is it high or is it piss poor? You just don't know. Well, as it turns out, I have a fantastic new bit of kit here. Check this out, and this will let me. This is the HP320, and this is a spectrometer, and it allows me to measure the light. Let me measure the light in here at the moment. I'll push the button. Boom, and it's measuring, and there is the color spectrum of what I've got in the lab here. And if you're shooting videos like I am, well, the color temperature, it matters a lot, and so it does the color rendering index, or CRI. So yeah, like, you just don't know what you're getting unless you've got a specialized bit of kit to measure it. So you can see we've got the color temperature in Kelvin, 3,383. We've got the lux, 1,600 here, and we've got the X coordinate. I won't go into details on that. And the peak wavelength here, you can actually see that is the blue there. You can actually move the cursor there, and it's at 456. And this is primarily coming from my big studio lights up here like this that I've just recently installed. But we can get more than that. We can get all this data, and I'd have to go into photometry and everything to actually explain these all. But you can go look these up if you want, and we can actually get the color rendering index as well, which is 93.5. It's RA there, also known as CRI, and it's made, and then you can get the average value, and it's made up of the other R values. I won't go into all the details, but you can get all this fantastic data. We can even get the irradiance in watts per square meter, the 5.6 watts per square meter. So like, I can go outside on a good day, and we're supposed to get like 1,000 watts per square meter on like a good sunny day. That's like sort of like the nominal value they use for solar panels. And yeah, we can get the candelas, and we can get the CIE1931 stuff. Speaking of which, look at the CIE1931 map. And once again, I won't go into a huge amount of detail, but basically this is the full color spectrum, and it's always horseshoe shaped like this, going from blue all the way right up to red like that. And that black line in there is the ideal black body like radiation curve, and that's where and the white is smack in the center like that. Anyway, I won't go into a huge amount of detail on that, but suffice to say, the two things that we care about are the color temperature in Kelvin and our CRI, or RA there, color rendering index. Anything over like 90 is pretty good. These lights are actually 95 because I'm mixing in with some other poor lights. Let me actually turn them off and see what we actually just get using those studio lights. So I've turned off my crappy strip ones, and let's see, the spectrum should change a little bit. Does it? Yeah, it just modified a bit, and only takes a second to measure this, and we're actually getting now 95.6. So they're using UG LED lamps, which are like some of the best on the market for a color rendering index. They're proper studio corncob bulbs inside those soft boxes up there. So anyway, we now have a specific bit of kit that we can actually modify this, get the LCD out, because as you can see, it's broken, and kamagutsa, you don't always get a win from the dumpster. That's why it was in the dumpster. So absolutely useless. You can't repair it unless you get like an actual new LCD screen for it. So we'll rip out the LCD screen, and we'll get that backlight and see how good it is. We can measure everything with this bit of kit now. let's go. And for those playing along at home, here's the model number. It's a Samsung 49-inch jobby. That's what she said. So if any dumpster TV like this is going to have a decent backlight in it, it's probably a Samsung. I don't know. Is it was it a top of the range at the time? I'm not sure. Probably not. But still, you know, it's not some cheapie. Doesn't seem to be any screws in this, so it looks like it's got those blasted clips in it. So, well, I'll get back to you. I'm not sure if this front bezel is supposed to come off first, but it does, so why not? Yeah, it seems like it's designed to come off. In fact, might be able to just, yes, we can just lift the layers out like that. Oh, winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now, I have done a video, which I'll link in, tearing down, I think it was an LCD monitor actually, and like going through under the microscope and looking at the various layers and things like that. So that's quite fascinating. I won't repeat a lot of that in this video. Got all of that off. Flip it around. Yeah, it is designed to snap out. Oh, there you go. I think the key is to be a bit brutal with it. Whoops, there's the button. Oh, no, it just cracked it, yeah. Oh, yeah, cracked it again. That's not great. Yeah, don't do that. And that's our button interface. It's got a cable in there. We can just disconnect that. There we go. We can now, look at that. Don't even have to take the back off. We can take out the LCD panel. So we can just fold out the entire panel like that. Unfortunately, we can't disconnect it from the PCB under unless we get off the rest of it. But there's our backlight. So it literally, like, I could just cut out, like, because it's failed. I can just get a knife and just slice that open. Looks like the big plastic frame's not going to come out easy. So I'm just going to do a slice and dice. I'm wearing some gloves because this is glass that could splinter or whatever. So just going to slice and dice the cable. Oh, it's terrible, Muriel. It's tragic. But this thing was dumpster anyway, so no worries. And slice through that like butter. Using my little mini champ, by the way. That's my EDC. The Victorinox symbol's worn off, but highly recommend the mini champ as the EDC of choice. There you go. There's our glass LCD panel, and that will just crack. And you can actually see on the back there, I can see where it actually cracked in the screen. You can see it in the back. It's not really a wobble board, so tie me kangaroo down, sport. Tie me kangaroo down. Actually, it's pretty good sound. All together now, tie me kangaroo down, sport. Tie me kangaroo down. All right, so what we've got here is 3 layers, and this is going to be different to what we saw in that LCD teardown, the more detailed one, if you want more details. In that LCD monitor, we had edge-lit LEDs. I think they were on the bottom like this. And then we had like a light guide, physical light guide sheet, which took the side-lit LEDs like this, and due to total internal reflection, they bounced around inside, and then they had all these little dots on them, and that's where the light would actually escape upwards from. So it would be like having like a whole bunch of LEDs in the back. Then they have what looks like some sort of first stage diffuser here, and then they've got another put the kettle on, some sort of polycarb sheet. It doesn't look anything special. It's a bit rougher on this side, but yeah, that would just be another diffuser sheet. And then they've got where the magic happens here. You can see that it looks sort of like silver on this side. This is called brightness enhancement film, and this is actually one of the most important things for how these LCD TVs work. What it does, these actually contain, I can't show you, you'd have to look at it under a microscope, these contain like little micro lenses in them, little prisms. They're also called prism sheets or, you know, something like that. But its correct name is brightness enhancement film, and what that does is it takes all of the light that's bouncing out at different angles, and then it basically just focuses that light into a narrow beam, a narrow angle that comes directly out like this. So if you've got a really wide angle LED under there that's emitting lights in all directions, this helps focus that essentially using little micro lenses, so all the light comes out perpendicular to the screen, and that helps enhance the apparent brightness of the screen when you're looking at it, when you're sitting right in front of the screen actually looking at it. So if you're looking to make your own light panel and you want the light to appear like it's coming from a distant source like the sun, if you want to make like an artificial window or something like that, then you're going to need something like this brightness enhancement film that makes the light shine like it's coming in one direction like this. Whereas these regular panels up here, these light panels, they don't have that, so the light's just going to bounce out in all directions, you know, whatever the angle happens to be for those particular panels and the LEDs used in them. But that's the advantage of having these, is that it will appear like the light is coming from a distant source like the sun. It'll like go in one direction, kind of like very narrow angle kind of thing. So yeah, that's one benefit of these things. But anyway, let's power it on and see if we can get something. Well, there we go. It lit up. Yep, it needed that board in there. So there you go. I can immediately get some readings on that. No problems whatsoever. Okay, I've turned all other lights in here off. I've got a measuring tape, so I'm gonna measure it at 1 meter so that we can get the lux at 1 meter, which is a typical figure. There we go. Press the button. Boom. Oh, hey, check this out. Wow, look at that blue peak. That is an absolute monster. Anyway, we got 1840 lux, so that's at 1 meter, and our color temperature, 12,569. What the heck? Oh my goodness, these are awful. So all those people crapping on about, oh, turn it into a wall light. Oh my God, no, it's awful. Absolutely awful. So anyway, let's have a look at all the figures here. You can knock yourself out on all this stuff. But anyway, nope, as I thought, the color rendering index, the RA 76.5, that is piss poor. So yeah, you wouldn't use that. I wouldn't use that. 6.8 watts per square meter. There's our mapping. Woo! She is off the chart. That's unbelievable. So what's going on here? Well, it's pretty obvious. It's the, just cracked it again. The LCD screen actually has color filters in it, right? It's got to have red, green, and blue color filters in it. So the backlight actually has to be deliberately a higher color temperature, like insanely high, 12, 13,000 high, in order for the color filters to then give you accurate colors on the screen. So obviously what they're doing is prioritizing the color gamut of the colors you get out of the screen. You see all the marketing wankery, right, for screen, the most vivid color ever, blah, 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 blah. They're doing, in order to get that, they have to have these extremely high backlight color temperatures, and the LEDs will be specifically chosen, etc., in order to give you the most accurate color out of your screen possible. So that's what they're prioritizing. So unfortunately, like, every LCD is going to be like this. You're just not going to be able to take out the screen like this and magically get this backlight. It is just, okay, it lights up, it's a light, but if you're absolutely, like, it's so blue that, like, it's actually bad for your eyes. LCD and computer monitors actually have a blue filter for a reason, to try and take out the blue because it's actually damaging. So this is absolutely awful. But that's with the LCD removed, of course. When the LCD's in there, those RGB color filters inside the LCD screen itself, they actually will be getting around like, you know, 6,500, something like that, actual color temperature out of the screen effectively. So it is actually down converting that, you know, 12, 13,000 down to like 6,500 or something like that. So it's not as damaging to your eyes watching the TV as you would with just a terrible backlight like this. It actually strains my eyes just looking at it. It's pretty awful. Hard to show on camera, of course, but the trade-off you're going to get by prioritizing the color gamut on the LCD with this higher color temperature backlight is that you're going to sacrifice some brightness. So you know, it's a bit of a trade-off between like how bright is your screen and how accurate do you want the colors. So, you know, it's hard to get the best of the both worlds there. Yeah, they're obviously prioritizing color in this particular model, but your mileage may vary. So they really would care about all this sort of stuff. Trust me, when they're designing this thing, this is the exact spectrum that they wanted, and they would have been designing their color filters to match the very specific LEDs that they're using in this to get the specific spectrum, or to get like a calibrated, say, 6,500 kelvins out of it with an accurate color gamut, like a really wide color gamut that they were actually going for. Okay, it looks like I can actually get these plastic strips off. There's a lot of clips along here, but I think I'm able to do it, and we should be able to get this top diffuser plate out. This is actually edge lit. There's a LED. There's another one. So this panel is actually a light guide like I showed in my LCD monitor panel teardown, except it doesn't have the dispersion dots in it that we saw in that previous video. So it looks like it's entirely bottom edge lit. Down here, there's nothing. I've got this top clip off. There's nothing there whatsoever. And this is the light guide. There's nothing on the edges. I haven't got this one off, but yeah, doesn't look, no, nothing under there either. So this does look quite fuzzy. You can see my fingers go sort of wobbly or blurry through this thing. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there exactly, but that's one heck of a special light guide to get absolutely no hot spots from the bottom. They can just light that. There's just one strip on the bottom of this 49-inch TV. So yeah, I'm surprised. And underneath that, there's really just the metal. We've just got a white back in here, so it reflects off that, but there you go. That's all she wrote. By the way, if you wanted to get that black plastic cover off, there's those annoying plastic clips we've seen in other teardowns going into these like wire things. So they're the plastic clips from the back cover, and this is how you get the back cover off. So I do believe they make a special tool to actually get this thing out. But you saw in a previous teardown, I did manage to get like a big screen TV like this apart that had these exact same clips. It's a Samsung thing, so ugh. So all the magic is happening in this light guide material here and the brightness enhancement film here. So yep, that's where it's all at. Check it out, you can really see the light coming out of the top there. So that is incredibly evenly lit. Yeah, like you can see like a texture pattern in there. That's really something. You see how it's missing there like that? So this light guide has like that pattern sort of etched into it somehow. Is that like an inner layer or something, or is that, it doesn't feel like it's on the top or the bottom. So if I close the iris on that, F4, F5, F6, F7, F8, it'll go to F9.6, and that's all she wrote. And yeah, you can really see that now. All right, so how much power are we talking about? If we boot this thing up, it's still got the electronics in it, of course. But it goes through various brightnesses, 40 watts, back to 25, and 30, and it will go higher. It's not very bright. Well, there we go, 83 watts. Let's just say the thing was residual there. It's at least pumping 50 watts into those LEDs. That's a lot. So I count about 90 LEDs across there. Let's just use that round number of 50 watts. Then, you know, you divide that by 90, and that's doable for each one of those individual LEDs. I mean, it's going to be heat sunk. It's stuck directly down onto the metal backing, which then is the entire chassis, basically. So it's got some decent heat sinking on it. Should be able to see the part number down there. Looks like they've split this into two halves because there's a join there. And it looks like this giant metal panel here, this is the actual LED backlight on this thing. That's the, and then they've just got right angle like that for the LEDs, and they're using that instead of the metal chassis, although that's doing some too, but it's pretty poor coupling to that. So they're using this specific, in fact, it's got, there it is there. That's the bracket LED PCB assembly, specifically for the extra heat sinking. I mean, they probably could have integrated it into the main chassis if they really wanted to, save cost. So yeah, if you wanted to turn this into a usable wall light panel, then you could replace the strip here. Yeah, they're quite narrow. You'd have to get a specific narrow one. You could rip that out. So it would be interesting to see if that brightness enhancement film and that front diffuser that we had would be enough to actually work with just like individual spot LEDs on there, or whether or not you just have to be content with having just edge lit on one side. Technically, there's nothing stopping you from putting another edge lit one up here, but there's not enough metal to attach to there, but you could do that. Yeah, same with the side. So, but you could technically light it up from both sides if you wanted more power, more lumens. Now, this is very unlikely to work because this is designed for an edge-lit panel, but if you remember a teardown I did, I can't even remember what it was, but I salvaged a bunch of these LED strips, and these were specifically like a backlit one for a large TV or whatever it was I did the teardown of, and these were in the back of them in channels. They had them in rows like this. So I thought I'd just wire up one of these strips here and then put the diffusers on top and see if we get any patterns on it. So anyway, so these LEDs I've got hooked up to a power supply, and that's 20 milliamps at the moment with a 48 volt compliance voltage. It's quite high. These LEDs are very high each. They're like 5 volts each. That's 100 milliamps. So I'll put the films on and see if it makes a difference. Now, even though this is not designed for it, I'm going to put in this light guide, and yeah, we can still, the LEDs, that's just going to do nothing because that's not designed as a diffuser, only when you edge light it. So here's the diffuser panel that they had in it. And yeah, that is just, that's not doing anything, is it? You can still see those bright spots. If I turn the iris down, you can really see that, can't you? So yeah, that's terrible, Muriel. So let's try the magic brightness enhancement film, and wah, 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 wah. That's going to do absolutely nothing. So the only way you're going to convert this TV into a light panel is to edge light it specifically as designed. No surprise there whatsoever, but hey, I thought I'd try it. Okay, I set up a little experiment here for the brightness enhancement film. What I've got is just one of my panel wall lights here. It's nothing special, it's just a 40 watt wide angle commercial LED panel. It's got no brightness enhancement film in it, nothing special at all. Okay, so just a regular panel light, and we have the couch feet. All hail the couch feet. I've just set those up at regular intervals so maybe you can see a brightness difference drop off. You might be able to see it on the bench too, but anyway. And down the other end, I've got a light meter set up so that we'll be able to measure the lux. It's currently 433, so there you go. That will give us a benchmark. So what I'm going to do is get the brightness enhancement film, and I'm going to put it in front and see if the brightness at the far end there increases. Now, it's probably going to be hard to see any difference like on the bench or on the couch feet tin there, but anyway, so here we go. So we're 434 it is now, and let's put the brightness enhancement film in there, and yep, it's gone up. It's jumped up to 645, and if I take the film away, There we go. So the film makes it brighter at a distance, and that's including any loss in the film, because there's going to be some loss in the film as well. So what the film is doing is taking all that light which is coming out at, because this is a wide angle panel that's, you know, on the back wall over there, so it's all like being wasted, and it redirects it, or helps redirect it in a more parallel fashion out to the other end. So that's why it's in the name, brightness enhancement film. You actually get a brighter light at the other end. So if you use this for a wall light panel, it's going to look like, or it's, you know, it's going to appear more to your eyes that the light's coming from like a far distance behind the panel, like it's coming from the sun or something like that. So it'll make a better skylight, or, you know, like artificial window or something like that, than a regular wide angle panel. So there you go, brightness enhancement film. It does actually work. Cool, huh? So can you convert a dumpster LCD TV into a really good light panel? Well, yeah, you can if you go to the effort to install new LEDs, because you can't use the LEDs that are in there. They're just absolutely useless for the task. They're only useful once you put that RGB LCD filter on front of it. And then there's no point, unless you want like a modern art masterpiece with the cracked panel. You could sell that for 10 million bucks. But then you've got to rip out all the electronics in there except for the power supply, and then the power supply won't be as efficient as it can be. Then you've got to match the strips for the specific driver for the power supply that's in there. You're better off just like using an external supply. But then the thing is like thick as, and how do you mount it on the wall? It's got like a curved thing. You're better off just buying a commercial LED panel like this. They're super thin. They've got the hangers on the back to mount the things. They come with the matching power supplies, and if you're that keen, you can just remove the frame and insert some brightness enhancement film on there to give it like a more distant light source look, like it's coming from the sun or something like that. And the whole idea of like a wall panel is not to have some stupid big curved screen like this. It's going to look like a TV. You want it to look good, and well, I don't know. So the only good thing you get out of a dumpster LCD TV is probably the brightness enhancement film, if you know, want that distant light source look. So yeah, I can get some high CRI color match LEDs for this thing and try and fit them in the edge section over here, but why bother? I'm better off just buying a commercial high CRI LED panel, and two of them side by side matches the same size as this panel, and Bob's your uncle. So yeah, horses for courses. Anyway, if you like that video, please give it a big thumbs up, and as always, discuss down below and over on the EEVblog forum, and check out eevblog.store for all my merch, which keeps me in business. Catch you next time.